worry about that. But it's a fresh best of 3 here in the semifinals of the winners bracket for the Starbow Ladder Cup Season 2. This is the first cup of the season. Thank you guys for joining me here on the cast. I'm dying a little bit, but I'm doing it for you. It's funny here in the top right corner of the map. Protoss, red, not Zerg. It is RSVP. And allegedly, this map was made by the same guy who made Cloud Kingdom. Yo, do these attack? Yo, if these are neutral creeps that like attack, that'd be so cool. I think it's just like for aesthetics though. Like it's just, oh, look at all these units because it's Noah's Ark. Anyways, his opponent, bottom left corner of the map. Whoa, hold on, is that it's a landed space shark? It's like sleeping. His opponent though, at the bottom left, he's playing Zerg because he doesn't want to play PvP. It is the blue Zerg player, Buckfast. Alright, so that's kind of cool that they got all this critter interaction in the middle of the map. Tastelope. Tastosis. Actually, I think they got pretty much every critter in the game here. Oh wow, really? The Artostalope and the Tastelope? Really? Really? Ah, this is making me cringe. That's hilarious. Anyways, nice scout off here out of RSVP. He'll catch his opponents. One thing that we did see a little bit of in the first season was Hydralisk's dominance for a while. It was tweaked, it was changed. Zealot's speed was the appropriate response to it. Those leg enhancements are fantastic. There's some players like Crank from Axiom who still complains that Hydralisks are too strong, but we'll see how Buckfast plans to play this game out. Man, this is like an Ultralisk bear. Sorry, I should be casting the game. I'm busy obsessing over the freaking animals, though. Both players will awkwardly walk past one another, but RSVP is actually setting down a pylon, and there's no way. This is cannons? This is cannons. I can't recall the cannon last time I saw cannon rush in Starbow, but this should be interesting. I think the same methods still apply, though, where it's like, okay, well, your opponent has to pull a lot to deal with this. The idea is to limit the surface area. Nice pylon block there means there's even less drones that can get around involved with this fight, but with one cannon coming down, he'll probably cancel that pylon. Another pylon comes out of the main. What is happening here? This is going to get so dirty so fast. What the frick? Alright, so the photon cannon's going to have to be canceled. This one sadly will not complete. The drones punch just a little bit too hard, but with all the pylons up at this point, RSVP's already wasted a large investment into this. Buckfast is patrolling here on the other side of the map with the drone to make sure his opponent can't put down his own nexus, but probes pulled into the fight. Mineral walks through the probes. One probe goes down, but the other one will hold fast, and the cannon should actually be built. Now he's got to be quick about putting some more down, because one of the biggest problems is there will be creep spread very quickly. But a spine collar coming down at the top of the ramp here. Oh, this is going to be so weird. This is going to be just so freaking weird to watch happen. But a couple links pop out. These cannons are going to finish up. They will have the high ground vision. I don't know if buildings are affected by the high ground. That 50% chance to miss. I guess they are, as we can now see. That Zerglin, he's taken about 4 cannon shots and not died. The RNG is on his side. However, losing the high ground vision means this cannon can't trail away at the spine collar. It loses the fight anyways, so I'm going to try and pick away at the base. I'm so glad I thought I could see Zerg, by the way, guys. Swarm Queens look so cool. They got so much different mechanics and utilities. But this frustrates me a little bit too at the same time. Like, why is this not a skin you can buy for regular StarCraft? It looks so cool. Anyways, this one cannon will finally get picked out. This, I don't think is going to work out for RSVP at the end of the day. This last cannon getting made might actually hold strong, but coming across the map with a big counterattack, he already has both probes once. There's a natural base being stolen here by a hatchery, and he's going to have to fully wall off. Yeah, I recognize these links could be a bit of a problem. So he's fully walled off behind this. More cannons coming down for safety's sake. Links are going to chip away. The cannons will finally die here, or start to die out here on the other side of the map. Actually, he's got a re-wall. Oh, Jesus, those Lings, I gotta chip through that gateway like nobody's business. Forces to cancel, has to wall again to protect his new cannon coming up behind this. This is not looking good for RSVP, guys. A bit of panic starting to ensue, and this is looking like it might just be game. These Lings are getting work done. The hatchery is going to finish. More cannons are going to come down, but at what avail? This is looking like it's about to be game. One cannon finishes up, though. Forge falls. That's the last cannon that's going to go up. Surround's trying to get off by these Lings. This is, I don't even know how this is going to pan out. I mean, these Lings are going to pick this off. Yeah, probes are being pulled. I don't think he's going to hold this. Really nice choice out of Buckfast to keep the calm head, not panic at the cannons. In fact, he didn't even lose his natural. RSVP has utterly failed this cannon rush. New fortune now just simply to block this out, but oh, I didn't realize there was a hatchery. He did like a build cancel from the hatchery into an evolution chamber. I didn't even catch when that happened, but when this slowly dies out, it's gonna leech. Oh no, there's no broodlings. That's right, there's no broodlings in Starbow, so never mind. So this is kind of cool, I guess. I gotta give it to Buckfast though, man. Like, this is really well played. RCP's got so much lost mining. He's leading out probes here. His natural base has been denied for quite a bit of time. And the worker count, well, comes out even, but it doesn't really matter if you're not mining, so. Buckfast, this is one of those situations where I feel he may not have won the game right now, but this is probably one of those things that it's going to be so hard to recover from. That this may end up leading to the victory later on as a consequence, but still making more lings right now. Don't love this choice. Kind of wish we'd see him invest more into drones. Just get that economy going, hardcore. He's already got a macro hatchery coming out. It's worth noting for those who are unfamiliar with Starbow, injects are different for Zerg players. The inject mechanic is kind of more like a haste upgrade or hasted increase of larvae spawning regularly. It doesn't create eggs and it doesn't make like an instantaneous 3 additional larvae. So macro hatcheries, much more common in Starbow. Additional bases, much more common in Starbow. But the evolution chamber falls and RSVP can finally take his natural after quite a bit of headache. How hilarious would that be, by the way, if he couldn't actually put this down because there was like a pylon blocking it or something? I mean, that's, yeah, that would be so sad to see. Lings kind of just blend in with the zoo, though, if we're going to be completely honest. And, well, these Zealot's in for some trouble. That's good here. Buckfast. Or Buckfast, rather. Buckfest? Buckfast is moving towards this layer tech. Now, Hydralisks are tier 1 units. You don't need tier 2 for this, so I don't know what tech he's going to be going towards. Perhaps Mutalisks? Or actually, you know what? This might just be for lurkers, thinking on it. I forgot lurkers are in the game. We haven't seen any Zerg players today. It was PvT into PvT, but the Hydralisk den, of course, can transform into the Lurker Den. And lurkers are so good against just about generically everything. We'll see if that ends up being the case or not. But the layer will finish here in a second's time. Take a sigh of relief, everybody. There are no swarm hosts in Starbow, so you can rest assured that's not going to be the case. But we got the group spines coming out. And Hydralisks, for those who are Brood War fans, for those who haven't seen Starbow before, the old attack animation and the old attack sound have been resurrected for Hydralisks. So instead of the little, you actually hear like this. I know, my sound effects are really good. Shut up. Spreading creep through the middle of the map. Again, this is so cool. Like, these narrow corridors, you would never see this in regular StarCraft 2. One force field would make this too OP. But that's the beauty of Starbow. You can design around not having force fields to worry about not having this timing to worry about. In fact, there was a player, Snoot, Liquid Snoot, for those who know him, was recently playing around with some map design, and he had expressed how it was frustrating having to count for everything that every race could do to abuse the map. Oh, for those who missed my explanation of it earlier, Sunsolaris asks, inject's still available in Starbow, right? Yes, the queens can inject, but again, I want to stress that the inject works differently mechanically. It simply hastens the rate at which regular larva spawns. It does not put in the 3 extra eggs to turn into larvae for later. But the Hydras with the range starting to bully this out. They're going to outrange a lot of stuff here. This is a huge nuisance. We got leg enhancements finishing up in a moment's time, and this is how you would deal with a lot of Hydralisk all-ins off 2 bases. But the problem is, he doesn't have a lot of Zealots to actually deal with this, so even though the leg enhancements will finish up and he'll have speed, once he deals with the Hydras, round 2 of Mutas is going to be coming out. There's no anti-air to be seen. No Blink Stalkers are out. There's no Dragoons available in play, just simply cannons. So even if the +1 weapons were to finish, which it's not, I don't think, the Zealots are they're only going to buy him time. And this is kind of what I was talking about, guys, with the whole, like, he didn't exactly lose to the Zerglings earlier, but he did, you know, it just took him a lot longer. Creep going down here, but it's worth noting as well, one of the big changes for Starbow, Creep does not supply any form of movement speed bonus except to Queens. It's got regeneration benefits to it in Starbow instead, but no movement speed from Creep. But here come the Mutas. I kind of feel like this is too much at this point. It's already gotten a little out of control. If a Corsair could have been made in time, maybe this would be different. But there's no Stargate, there's no Dragoons. These Zealots have nothing they can do unless they learn to like lift each other up like a cheerleading pyramid. I mean, there's just no way to reach these Mutalisks. Templar Archives could be interesting. We got some Blink Stalkers coming out now, or Stalkers. Wait, okay, they still can equip with Blink. How dirty is that, by the way, all you Protoss haters out there? Stalkers in this game come equipped with Blink, but the reason you don't see everyone blindly go into them is because Stalkers are significantly weaker in Starbow. As you can see, they will chase out the mutants eventually. This looks more and more holdable, I guess you could say, here out of Buckfast, or out of RSVP. Buckfast might not be able to bully his way in here, but Creep is spread across the map. He's taking extra bases. He's coming up on base number 4, hatchery number 5. I like the spine crawlers for defenses too, to make sure there's not going to be a ton of harass that he has to deal with, but the Templar the High Templar are coming out, but there's no Storm, so I imagine this is just for Archons for the time being. You can do hallucinations. I remember reading that in the patch notes. We haven't seen that just yet. But hallucinations apparently cost less and they last longer, so maybe hallucinating a couple Archons could be a scary thing to see. Buffer for the army at the very least. What? What? I'm hoping this is like an observer UI bug. Why can Templar build warp prisms? What? Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they can't actually build a warp prism or an arbiter, and we'll just assume it's like a bug for some reason. Anyways, we got some more cannons coming down. I mean, the static defense will only buy you so much time. The Viper Nest is on the way. I would love to see some Vipers come out. Vipers have a lot of cool things involved with it. They are incredibly different and not at all like the Vipers we know in StarCraft 2, but that might not even be the case. Just busting on through, tears down the cannons like nobody's business. Zealots coming out in the front lines. Zerglings need to get involved with this to buffer at least a little bit. The Lurker Den's coming out behind us, but it's not going to be available too soon. If he loses all his Hydras, there's no point in getting Lurkers in the first place, but this is not going to work. The Blink Stalkers are going to do a good chunk of damage, but he's lost his buffer at this point. The Zealots have dissipated, and there's really nothing to stop these Hydras. There's just too many of them. Archons coming to the front lines will be nice to have, but is it too late? The Hydras are just going to be distant so quickly, as we see, stuttering back away from us, trying to use range to their advantage. Buckfast is losing a lot of his units, but the probes have been gutted by the Mutalisks while this is going on, so it's been kind of a slap with one hand punch with a right sucker punch type move, but Cannon in the main trying to be focused down. This, of course, draws all the Blink Stalkers back, which means there's nothing to stop these Hydras in the natural base. Oh, the natural base is a little screwed. Blink Stalkers are pretty good against Hydras, guys. The problem is there's just not a lot of them. Actually, he might just hold this, maybe with a couple more reinforcements, wave after wave, but I mean, Buckfast hasn't even dipped into his reinforcements yet. It's coming forward here. Alright, so here we are. Game number 1 will be won by Buckfast, the Zerg player over RSVP.